In the last 2 weeks, two of the biggest AI labs in the world have quietly changed what cybersecurity looks like going forward. Anthropic released Claude Mythos, which can complete around 73% of expert-level cybersecurity tasks. And OpenAI released GPT 5.4 Cyber, which is a cybersecurity-focused version of ChatGPT built specifically to support security teams. Now, I've been recruiting for 15 years, and my job is to read what is actually shifting in the market, not the hype version. So in this video, I want to do two things. First, explain what Mythos and GPT 5.4 Cyber actually are in plain language. And secondly, what this could mean for cybersecurity jobs going forward and the roles I personally would be paying attention to from a recruiter's lens. Hey everyone, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Gough. I'm a cybersecurity recruiter and career coach. And if you're not new, welcome back. Let's get straight to the video and talk about how these two AI models are changing the focus for cybersecurity. Now, if you've not yet seen this, here is the quick version. Claude Mythos is Anthropic's new, most advanced model yet. What makes it different is how good it is at cybersecurity tasks, specifically on expert level cyber tasks that no AI could realistically complete a year ago. Mythos is now succeeding roughly 73% of the time, which is staggering. It is the first model to solve a 32-step simulated corporate network attack from start to finish. And in Anthropic's own safety testing, it demonstrated behaviors that force them to build a whole defensive counter effort called Project Glasswing. Now, at the same time recently, OpenAI has also released GPT 5.4 Cyber, their version. Think of it as a version of GPT that has been tuned specifically for security work. Things like log analysis, detection logic triage, policy drafting, threat intel summarization, and incident response support. Now, this is designed to sit alongside a security team rather than to replace it, and I want to make that clear. So you have two of the biggest AI labs, OpenAI and Anthropic, in the world publicly saying the same thing, that cybersecurity is no longer a hard edge case for AI. It is now a first-class use case. Now, this matters for anyone in cyber and for anyone trying to break in. So let's now talk about what this means for cybersecurity generally. Let's talk about the big picture first before we go anywhere near jobs. These tools are genuinely useful. They triage alerts faster than a human possibly can. They can read logs at scale, they can draft detection rules, they can explain attack chains, write fast-pass policy, and help junior analysts learn on the job. Now, this is a good thing for defenders because cyber teams have always been understaffed and under-resourced. Now, the flip side of this is that attackers also get access to the same capabilities. Phishing at scale becomes easier. Reconnaissance becomes faster. The gap between a curious hobbyist and a capable attacker is smaller than it used to be. So what we are really seeing is acceleration on both sides. Defenders got better tooling and attackers get better tooling. The organizations that win are the ones who adopt this quickly and thoughtfully, and the ones who hire people who know how to work with it. Now, I want to make this very clear because I get a lot of people messaging me about, is AI replacing cyber? This is not AI replacing cyber at all. It is AI reshaping cyber. And those are two very different stories. So now let's talk about it from a recruiter's perspective. So from my side and what I'm seeing, I've recently seen a clear shift in the kinds of conversations hiring managers are having with me about their particular cyber teams. The questions have changed. A year ago, it was mostly about headcount. Now it's more about skill mix. Who on their team can actually get value out of these AI tools? Who can build with them and who can secure them? That's what hiring managers want to know. That shift is showing up in three ways that are worth knowing about. Let's talk about them now. Firstly, three roles that are changing shape. Now, these are not roles that are disappearing overnight. They are roles where the work is being redefined and where the expectations are climbing. So tier 1 SOC analyst, alert triage. A lot of traditional triage work, watching a dashboard, closing out low priority alerts, is exactly what AI tooling is honestly getting extremely good at. I have recently seen more hiring managers thinking about how AI assisted SOC tooling changes the shape of their team. Now, the role still exists, but the expectations on a new tier 1 analyst is to come in already comfortable working alongside AI tooling, asking better questions and moving up the stack faster than people did 5 years ago. So if you're in a tier 1 role, this is not bad news. It just means the runway to move into detection engineering, threat hunting, or incident response is shorter than it used to be. I want you to plan that next step inside 12 months. Next up, junior pen testing that is doing scanner driven work. So I'm talking specifically about entry level roles there where most of the the day is running Nessus or burp scans or enumerating targets and writing up templated reports. This part of the work is increasingly something AI can support or speed up dramatically. The value a human adds is creative, context aware, business literate thinking, and the kind of social engineering and change exploitation work that still requires a real human being. So if you're studying for your OSCP, do not stop, don't. Make sure you do it. But just know the bar is rising. Pair it with cloud pen testing, AppSec, or red team depth. And thirdly, junior GRC associate that are doing documentation and mapping, because a lot of entry-level GRC work is reading a framework or mapping controls or drafting policy and preparing audit responses. Now, AI is genuinely good at that now. So the GRC professionals I see being hired into growing teams are the ones who can interpret the business, challenge the framework and translate risk for executives, and negotiate with auditors. This is the version of the role that is more in demand now. So if you're trying to enter GRC, lean into business communication, which comes back to the soft skills I always talk about. Look into audit experience and risk quantification alongside the framework knowledge. Then we have 3 roles that are growing and I think will continue to grow. So these are roles I would be paying close attention to if I were mapping a cybersecurity career in 2026. First up is detection engineer. Now, detection engineers write the rules and build the pipelines that tell security tooling what to alert on. So they sit at the intersection of security, engineering, and data. Now, AI does not replace this role. It really needs it. Every AI-assisted SOC still runs on human-designed detection logic. Now, the salary band I'm seeing for this in 2026 is roughly 140 to 180 USD and roughly 160 to 200 Australian dollars locally where I'm based. If you are in tier 1, SOC detection engineering is your most natural next move. Learn Sigma rules, learn KQL, get comfortable with Python, and build a small portfolio of detections. Next up, cloud security architect and senior cloud security engineer. Now, every organization I see hiring right now is cloud first. It really is. And every AI assisted workflow sits on cloud infrastructure. So misconfigurations at the cloud layer are still one of the biggest sources of real world compromise. Once again, AI does not replace a cloud security architect. It amplifies what one good one can do. So if you want to target this space, focus on AWS security, the Azure SC100, or even the GCP cloud security engineer, and build a home lab that proves you have hardened a real environment. And third up, AI security specialist. Now, this is an interesting one because this category barely existed 2 years ago. Now every enterprise is asking for it in some way. Most hiring managers are starting to talk about this type of position. The job is to secure the AI systems inside the business. So you're talking about prompt injection defenses, output validation, training, data governance, etc. Now, OWASP's LLM top 10 is still arguably the closest thing to canon, but this is changing. CompTIA has recently released Sec AI Plus, which is a certification built specifically for AI security. Now, it is early days, so it's not yet a requirement I'm seeing on all job specs, but this may change in the future. And this is one of the rare moments where getting in early on a certification actually tells a story. So if you're personally serious about moving into AI security, this really is a sensible time to consider it, precisely because the role is still being defined. Now, most of the people I see stepping into these roles are senior AppSec engineers that are pivoting, or senior AI and ML engineers who, quite frankly, are just curious about security. And third up, what hiring managers are quietly valuing more. So across all of these, the through line I have recently seen is that hiring managers are putting more weight on 2 things. Firstly, people who can use AI tooling fluently and talk about its limits. And 2, people who can explain security risk to non-technical stakeholders. Once again, soft skills. Now, technical depth still matters, but the differentiator this year is communication and judgment layered on top of that depth. So let's talk about what I would do this week if I was you. If I were in a cyber role this week or I was trying to break in, here's what I would do first. Nothing fancy, but just movement. Firstly, I'd get hands-on with one of these tools. Now, it's important that I discuss this because at the time of filming, not everyone has access to all these tools. I know that OpenAI has released it to a more wider audience where Anthropic hasn't. So this may be different depending on when you're watching this. However, try and spend an hour with GPT 5.4 Cyber or Claude if you have access, and pick a real task. Draft a detection rule, summarize an incident write-up, explain a ZVE to a non-technical audience. The point is to build familiarity with them. You'll be a much stronger candidate if you can talk about how you use these tools in your workflow. And come interview time, if you can discuss this with the hiring manager, they'll be impressed. Secondly, pick one growing role and ship a small artifact this weekend. One weekend, one piece of proof. If your detection engineering is your target, then write a handful of Sigma rules and put them on GitHub. If, for example, cloud security is your target, then stand up a misconfigured cloud environment and document how you hardened it. And finally, if AI security is your target, then build a tiny prompt injection test harness and write up what you learn on LinkedIn or write a blog post. Next, update your LinkedIn headline to the direction you are moving in. Recruiters search by keyword. So if you want to become a detection engineer, a cloud security engineer, or an AI security specialist, that language needs to appear in your profile. Pair it with the artifact you just built and you will start showing up in searches that match the roles that are growing. Now, on this point, I recently did a live video on YouTube. You can find it on my channel. And I literally discuss how to optimize your CV and LinkedIn for cybersecurity roles. So check that out. So here's the honest read from my side of the desk. Claude Mythos and GPT 5.4 Cyber are not the end of anything. They are the next shift in a field that shifts all the time. Every wave I've seen in my career has redefined some roles and created others. The people who do well are the ones who notice early and move. Now remember, this is only going to accelerate more and more. The speed that these AI models are releasing is unbelievable. Every day it feels like something new is coming out. So watch the space, keep on top of it, and make sure you adapt. Now you're already watching this video, which tells me you're in that group anyway. Now, if you want a full roadmap of how to break into cybersecurity right now, make sure you check out my Cybersecurity Job-Ready Blueprint. I've written it, no fluff. It's got lots of templates to help you and gives you a really clear plan for the first 90 days how to break into cybersecurity. I'll leave the link below. Now, if you've got something useful out of this, which I really hope you did, consider subscribing to the channel and send it to one person in your network who is thinking about cyber. They will thank you for it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. As always, keep leveling up your career and I'll see you on the next one.